How's it going, Rogues Gallery? Today we're going to talk about my top 5 tips to start playing my new favorite card game of 2023, Shadowverse Evolve. But wait, there's more. If you stick around to the end of the video, in collaboration with Bushiroad and Psy Games, we're going to be giving away 2 booster boxes of the first Shadowverse Evolve set, Advent of Genesis. There's a ton of really fantastic staples in this set that'll be great for any Shadowverse Evolve player going forward into the future, into set 2, set 3. There's a lot of really good stuff in here, so definitely stick around for the end of the video. Now let's get on with my first tip. Now this one's going to be pretty simple, but you'd be surprised how many people don't know that this exists. My first tip is to check out the How to Play video on the official English Shadowverse Evolve YouTube channel. And you know, while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe there, because that's where you're going to get all of the official news first for the English version of Shadowverse Evolve. The How to Play video there is really good. It's kind of got like this cute duel between Erica and Orisa, and it's just really well done and will ease you into the gameplay mechanics of Shadowverse Evolve. After you've done that, I would also then recommend that you check out some YouTube videos of some actual gameplay with some more powerful top level decks. I have 2 currently here on Red Zone Rogue, but you know what? There's other videos out there to check out. So watch the How to Play video and then check out some gameplay videos from YouTubers so you can kind of get a real sense of how Shadowverse Evolve is played. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, Shadowverse Evolve is my favorite new game of 2023, and it is so much fun. The games are fast, there's a lot of back and forth interactivity. It's just an excellent time, so definitely check all that stuff out for the first tip. Tip number 2 is going to be, do not ignore the starter decks. In fact, I would highly recommend purchasing a starter deck of the craft that you want to play, because they are incredible. I have a full video and review going over every single Shadowverse Evolve starter deck. I open them all up and kind of give you my thoughts on how they play and just kind of the vibes of each of the crafts. So if you want a lowdown of all of the crafts as well as a look at all of the starter decks, I do have a video link in the description down below. And you know what, while we're at it, we're going to throw links to that How to Play video and some gameplay videos as well while we're at it. But yes, do not ignore the starter decks. The starter decks are really good. They have play sets of staples that will be used for many sets to come. And we know this because we kind of have an idea of what is to come because of the Japanese meta. Since they have several sets ahead of us, we can kind of, you know, think about what cards are going to be good moving forward. And I'll tell you what, there's some really good staples in the starter decks. Now, I want to say this just flat out. I think the Shadowverse Evolve starter decks are some of the best starter decks on the market. They are so good that I look at other game starter decks and I'm just like, why aren't they doing this? You know, they have full play sets of competitive staples. That's just incredible. So you only ever need to buy 1 starter deck of any given craft. You don't have to buy multiples because they have full play sets in them. So yes, tip number 2, do not ignore the starter decks. In fact, pick up the starter decks for the crafts that you are interested in. Tip number 3 is going to be kind of another obvious one, but one that I have seen players either forget about or maybe they just don't know. There is a really good Shadowverse Evolve official companion app. This thing is so useful and actually makes the games flow so well. So you know what, we can kind of give like a quick lowdown here. So let's say we're going to pick my favorite craft, Swordcraft here, and then our opponent is going to be playing Dragoncraft. You can either scan in a leader if you have a special leader card, and you'll get access to that leader's you know, visuals as well as extra voice lines. It's super cool. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. You can just hit start game. Your life totals as well as your opponent's life totals. You keep track of all of your play points as well. It is just a super convenient way to play Shadowverse Evolve. I think it's one of the coolest things about the game. Initially, if you're a new player starting to play, this just helps so much, and it's free, and also gives you something to do with all of those cool fancy leaders. For tip number 4, we're going to get into some more nuanced stuff. This is going to be the accessorize tip. There's a lot of things that we can go over here. We're going to talk about sleeves, we're going to talk about snap fits for your leaders, playmats, all of that kind of stuff. And for that, let's go to a top down. So we have the Shadowverse Evolve deck box, we have the playmat, and we have the box. You can accessorize to your heart's content if you can find them. But the most important takeaways from this are sleeves and snap fits. This is the kind of stuff that you might not know just from taking a glance at it, but as someone who has been playing a ton of Shadowverse Evolve, these are all tips that I find highly, highly useful. So let's go over the deck first. In Shadowverse Evolve, you have two decks essentially. You have your main deck, and then you have your Evo deck or your Evolve deck. These should be in different sleeves. So that is one of the big takeaways from tip 4. You should have 2 different sleeves for your Shadowverse Evolve deck. Now, personally, I like running really, really high quality sleeves such as Dragon Shield for my main deck. You know, this is like quality and function. We want good shuffle feel. We want good durability. Now, since you don't shuffle your Evo deck, I like using really pretty sleeves or character sleeves. You can find like official Shadowverse Evolve sleeves. There are also other official Shadowverse sleeves, whatever you like, but just make sure that you have different sleeves for your main deck and for your Evo deck. Also, I would recommend packing all of the tokens that you will need in your deck box as well. This deck will never need more than 3 dragon tokens, and so I put 3 dragon tokens just to make sure I always have access to them. Additionally, you have your leader card. Now, the leader cards are much thicker than normal cards. In fact, they are the same thickness here as the tokens, and you can see they're quite sturdy, quite thick, and they don't really fit very well into your normal sleeves. And so I was thinking, what's a good way to keep them preserved and safe but still look really nice and clear? The Ultra Pro snap fits. That's what this is in. They fit perfectly. As you can see, here is my Zernitra Zealous Wings leader, and she fits perfectly into this snap fit, and the snap fit is the same size as your deck, more or less, and it fits perfectly into any deck box. And the very final tip before I move on is dice. Get yourself some dice to keep track of the increases and decreases to your followers' power and their life. By the way, for the dice, I would recommend getting a good number of each color. Don't just run with a couple. Get at least 10 of each. So this is basically all you need to have an excellent Shadowverse Evolve experience. You got your dice, you got your deck ready to go, your tokens, and then you have your companion app. And our 5th and final tip is just know what products to buy. Be smart about what you're getting and to get the best value out of what you're purchasing so you can have the best possible Shadowverse Evolve experience. Now, what I'm basically going to talk about are starter decks, booster boxes, and what people call splits. And this is information that you basically wouldn't know unless you kind of have already really dive if you dove really deeply into Shadowverse Evolve already. So basically, I've already talked about the starter decks. They're very, very good. They have staples in them. I highly recommend just buying the starter decks instead of singles from the starter decks because you get so many staples. You get the cards as well as the Evo versions of the cards that matter. You get some really great staple legendary cards, full play sets of everything. So just buy the starter decks. They are $20 MSRP, and you just get everything you need to go, as well as like tokens and everything like that, as well as, you know, like a how to play and all of that kind of stuff. So yes, highly recommend buying the starter decks. Do not buy singles from the starter decks, especially if they are close to the same price as the starter deck. Just buy the starter deck. The next tip is that there's booster boxes and booster cases. This is where your options for buying singles or buying sealed product is really up to you and what you want to get out of Shadowverse Evolve. Booster boxes are random, right? They're booster boxes. They're a great way to just build your collection, to just get a random, you know, scattering assortment of stuff, and you have the chance to pull something great. You could also, if you have a ton of money to burn or you just really want to get into the game in a big way, you could buy a booster case. And a booster case is a box of 20 booster boxes. And what's great about this for Shadowverse Evolve, it's so good, especially like experiencing opening a booster case, 20 boxes, and then spending the same amount of money on other games and seeing what you get. Shadowverse Evolve, at least for the first set, Advent of Genesis, if you buy a booster case, a sealed booster case, you will get a playset plus of every single card in the game. I was able to build competitive, like top tier competitive decks of every single craft from a single booster case. Now, a booster case is about $1,000. It's a lot of money, right? Not everyone has that much money to just spend on a game. And we're gonna get to your alternative to that, which is a really, really good alternative for players who just wanna play a specific craft. But if you're like me, and you're crazy and you just want to get into the Shadowverse Evolve in a big way, a booster case is perfect because, like I said, you get a playset plus and you're also guaranteed specific pulls. You're not guaranteed specific cards, but you are guaranteed specific rarity pulls. So what I mean by that, in Advent of Genesis, you get 3 ultra rares per case and 2 of the chase leaders per case. Now, which one you pull, it's random. You know, you might get Zernitra, you might get Erasmus. You know, it varies wildly, but you can be rest assured that those are the pulls that you will get. Like, it's not super random. You're not going to get like 0 leaders. You're going to get two leaders. That number changes going forward for different sets because the number of booster boxes per case changes going forward. And we'll talk about that here on the channel later when the time comes for the set 2 Reign of Bahamut. But for now, for Advent of Genesis, like I said, booster case, you get a playset plus, which means a full playset of every single card in the game, including legendaries and all that kind of stuff, plus more. Like you'll end up with more. Like I ended up with 12 bell ringers, for example. But if you don't have the money to drop on a case or split with a friend, you can do what's called splits. And so what a split is, for, you know, Shadowverse Evolve and some other games out there as well, what a split is if someone is selling a Swordcraft split, Dragoncraft split, what that means is a play set of every card for that craft. And that is a perfect way as a player to just get all the cards you need for the craft that you care about. So if you are a Dragon Craft main, you would just buy a Dragon split and then maybe just like a normal or generic split, right? And then there you go. You have all the normal cards, you have all of the Dragon Craft cards, and you're good to go. So I see a lot of people doing that. It's a great way to just bulk purchase all the stuff you need without having to fiddle with like, oh, I need 3 Fortes, but someone's only selling 1 here and 2 here. You can just buy the split and then have them all. So those are my recommendations. Know what you're getting into. There's booster boxes, starter decks. There's the cases, which are great if you have a ton of money to burn. But if you don't, you just either buy singles of the specific cards you need. You know, maybe you buy some booster boxes and then just kind of cherry picking the cards you need. Or you can buy splits to get all the cards you need for a specific craft. And you can find splits on like the Facebook fan page marketplace kind of thing. That's where you can find this kind of stuff. All right, and now for the giveaway. We're gonna be giving away 2 booster boxes of Advent of Genesis to 1 single lucky person. We're gonna choose the winner a week from the day of this posting. And all you have to do to enter is you need to, well, it'd be cool if you subscribe to Red Zone Rogue, but you do need to comment down below. We will choose the winner randomly from the comments down below what craft you are looking forward to playing the most, or if you are already playing Shadowverse Evolve, which craft you are having the most fun playing. For me, it's Sword and Abyss, but for you, well, let us know in the comments down below. If you don't really have an idea of what they all are, definitely check out my starter deck opening and review, because I go over every single craft in the game, as well as how they kind of play and cover all of the starter decks. So if you don't really know go check out that video. Links in the description down below, and then come back here and comment which one you are looking forward to the most. I want to give another huge thank you and shout out to Bushiroad and Cygames for this collaboration giveaway. And I hope all of you out there give Shadowverse Evolve a shot. Like I said, it is my favorite new card game of 2023. I'm having an absolute blast playing it. It is just so much fun. So highly recommend giving it a shot. Don't forget to comment down below to enter the giveaway. And thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.